NW and YouTube.
And I like to play badminton. Yeah.
Cool. He's a bit shy.
The next season would come next year. But now I really wanted to know the story. So I opened up my tab. So should I say like something critical about this?
Yeah, you are not happy with the book. His view on books, and yeah, tell us which book, manga you have picked up, and yeah. Yabba Dabba 2. Hello, buddies. You're watching Medley with Maddie. I'm Maddie Dawson. This is yet another episode of Your View on Books, episode number 3. And we have the first ever male guest speaker. And before I hand over to him to self-intro, I want to talk about something about mangas because 2024 is when I discovered manga. In the month of March, thanks to Zygam, our book club member, I discovered manga, and I would say that I have missed out so much in manga in my whole life because it's like almost 30 years I didn't read about manga, and then on 33 I'm reading about manga, and I ended up creating a manga group, and we had our first public manga event last month. And yeah, so manga is more than just stories or pictures or basically books. Manga is emotion, and manga is life lessons, and if you pick the right manga, it could change your life. So I'm really proud in doing this episode. This also happens to be the first ever manga episode, and I'm really glad that we got a special guest speaker. So without any further delay, let's hand it over to Tim to give us the self-introduction.
So my name is Vaibhav. I've been living in Bangalore for 2 years, and I work in a software company as a software engineer. Yeah, that's it.
Hobbies.
Oh, my hobbies. Yeah, I like reading books, watching movies, TV series, and I like to play badminton. Yeah.
Cool. He's a bit shy. So he attended our manga event last month, and he's part of our book club. So I'm really glad that I met him because I remember as an organizer, I had brought only 3 manga books, one manga, one comics, and one graphic novel. And he had brought such a huge tomes and like 10, minimum 10 books you brought, right? Yeah, so I was like, okay, this guy is more crazier than me, and I would definitely want to do one episode with him. So I'm really glad doing that. So, Vaibhav, we want to know about your origin story. So, basically, how did you discover reading and books, and how long have you been reading? And since this is going to be a manga episode, when did you discover manga? So, as soon as you started reading, you discovered manga, or was it something later point of time? And what's your favorite genre? How do you manage your reading habits? So, I hope all you remember all these questions.
So I've been reading since my childhood. Like I used to go to the library, and they used to give us books to read, like Goosebumps and all children's stories, Tintin, Goosebumps. So I read Harry Potter. I read a lot of fantasy novels, but mainly Harry Potter. Then later in life, in college, me and my friend used to collect a lot of books, and we went into we started buying a lot of books. I bought a lot of Stephen King novels. That's why my love of Stephen King comes from. And yeah, that's it. And yeah, about manga. So it started with watching anime. I have been watching anime since I think my 11th grade. I started watching anime. I think the first one was Death Note, and then Full Metal Alchemist, I think. So these became my entry point into the world of anime. So I knew that there are manga or this Japanese comics existed from which these animes were made, but I didn't read them because I thought it's pointless because there's anime exists. But then this I started watching Attack on Titan, and then the season stopped coming because yeah. So the next season would come next year. but now I really wanted to know the story. So I opened up my tablet and I just searched for the online manga reading. So I started reading. I went to the whole manga in like 2 or 3 days. I read the whole Attack on Titan. So from there, I was kind of intrigued with the idea that reading these manga is very interesting and all. But like, if I have to tell that when I got into this hardcore manga reading, it's like 3 months back I started, and this is because of your this manga book meet event that last month, right? Yeah, yeah. But I got to know 1 month back because you had posted 1 month back only. So from there, I thought, yeah, now I have to collect all the mangas. Now I want to read everything. So I started with the popular mangas. I researched that what are the popular mangas that like all time favorites of people. I got to know Berserk is one, Vagabond is one, Vinland Saga is there, and there's One Piece, Naruto, and all. So then I started buying manga, and I loved the stories. I love Vinland Saga. So right now I'm reading Vinland Saga. So yeah.
You he gave away today's book. Anyway, let's move on. So, continuing on your background story, what's your favorite genre, and how do you manage your reading habits?
So yeah, you're talking about manga. Yeah. So I can read anything from fantasy to slice of life kind of manga. For manga, I think I don't have any particular genre. I can read anything that's interesting in manga, and my reading habits are a bit. You can say I read when I get the time, and if I'm really liking a book, I'll read it. I'll read the whole thing in one go. If I don't like the book, or I'm busy with other stuff, it can take a month or two, or sometimes more. So it depends on the time I have. So.
Cool. So now, yeah, uh, this is related to the topic that we are going to take. So, redemption. The topic is redemption, and in your whole life, was there any incident where you kind of fell and not literally fall down on the ground, but so it could be your school exams or anything, right? And you took the effort to rise up again and make sure you learn this time and do it better and achieve something, not great thing but something that satisfied you. So any particular instance that you want to share with us?
Yeah, sure. So it was, I remember when I was in 11th and 12th grade. So I used to flunk a lot of classes in my 11th grade. So I was getting very bad at studies. I was a good student till my 10th grade. But in 11th grade, I was totally like, I did not like studying. I did not want to go to coaching and all. My grades fell down very bad. So when I went to my 12th grade, so my especially my chemistry teacher took notice of my falling grades. So he taught me separately, and he gave me this private tuitions and all to like get me learn the concepts and all. And I really performed well in my chemistry exams, and so he was very proud of me. And he told the whole class of how much I had improved. Yeah.
That's a great redemption tale, and yeah. So without any further delay, let's get into the today's book recommendation. So his view on books, and yeah, tell us which book manga you have picked up, and yeah.
So I'll place this manga. It's upside down. I think.
Sorry.
Yeah. So this is a Vinland Saga. This is a very popular manga in all over the world. People love it. I'll tell about the manga, like who's the protagonist. So there's a story that revolves around Vikings. So actually, the author has taken some inspiration from real Vikings, like what they used to do, and some real life incidents have been dramatized in this. And the protagonist is named Thorfinn. So Thorfinn is the child of a very great warrior. Like he's known all over the Viking, all over the Viking area, or you can say they have the kingdom of Denmark actually. So the kingdom of Denmark. So the king of Denmark actually recognizes this Thorfinn's father is a great warrior. So the story begins with Thorfinn's father is in a remote island. He lives with his family. He has two children. One is Thorfinn. One is his sister. So actually, he has renounced this war. He's now wants nothing to do with war. So he lives with his family and a couple of other people. So they have built a small home in the island of Iceland actually. So that's where they take real life inspirations. This Iceland, Denmark, and all. So yeah, so actually a general actually from the same army as his father was, Thorfinn's father, came to recruit him for a war that has been going on, the invasion of England. So the Vikings are invading England, and so this sets the whole premise for the story that the kingdom of England has is being invaded, and they need Thor's help to capture it. So, but Thor's he refused. He said he doesn't want to be a part of any war, and he has denounced violence. So, the general actually isn't wasn't trying to recruit him. He wanted to actually assassinate him. So he takes the help of a guy called Askeladd. Askeladd is a kind of a mercenary. So he only wants the spoils of war. So whoever pays him the most money, so he and his army joins that side of war, and they plunder and also that's the beginning. And uh, should I go on with the story more or? Hmm.
So not everyone would know how manga works, right? So do you want to explain the format and how to read manga? Yeah, I can show them, but you can explain.
So manga comics are basically the opposite of how normal books are, which are from left to right, but it's from right to left. So it starts from the end, kind of, and you have to read it from right to left, uh, uh, from top to bottom, but from right to left, you have to read it. So that's the whole manga thing, and like these images and all are very detailed and very beautiful in manga.
Okay. Now, yeah, now I'll ask him some questions. So, the first question would be, uh, is it like character driven? There are many characters, and the story follows the arc of many characters, or is it some concept? So there is a concept, right? So if you see One Punch Man, it's a concept, and if you see Dragon Ball Z, they are character based. So there is a main character, but there are all other Z warriors. So it follows an arc of all those characters. So how is Vinland Saga built?
So Vinland Saga is definitely character driven. So it follows a story of course, Thorfinn, but he's like the first four volumes, he is not the central part of the story. He comes and goes, but he is not the central part. The central part is the story then, because Thorfinn is just in the background. Sometimes he comes to fight some big villains and all. But the story of Thorfinn actually starts from the fourth volume, you can say. Yeah. So from there, his redemption arc, you can say, starts. So from there, his the whole point of of the story of Vinland Saga actually comes into place. That what is the meaning of being a true warrior, which his father always told, but he never listened to him. So then he comes to know of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so Thorin, right? Thorfinn. Okay, those Thorfinn is the main character, and since it's related to Vikings, I believe that there will be a lot of voyages. So the main question here is, where does the most of the story happen? In the sea, ocean, or the land?
So the main story actually happens in England because the story starts from the invasion of England. So it's basically there are two parts of the story. There's the actually you can say that invasion of England is already going on, and the Vikings are already winning. They are taking down one territory after the another. But has been a small hiccup. Actually, the king of Denmark, the king of the Vikings, actually has a son. It's called Prince Canute. So Prince Canute is a very he has to he will be the next king, but he's a very shy boy. So he doesn't like war. He's very soft spoken. So these all people, Askeladd and all, they want to ransom him. So they actually capture the prince, and they capture the prince in England, and they want to take him to the king of Denmark to ransom him, to get some money out of it. So or they will kill the heir to the throne. So that's the story where the story takes place. There are not a lot of voyages, but there are definitely ships. Sometimes they show that people are arriving in the port on the ships. So there's a whole uh, kind of scene. Okay.
Uh, I guess, yeah. So, how many volumes are there? So, in mangas is almost like comics. It doesn't end in one book. So, unlike the normal books where you have a novel or a non-fiction, if you read one book, the story is over. So, certain books will have a series like 3 or 4 books. The mangas are exactly like comics. You will have volumes and volumes of it. So, this book is like a special edition where you have 3 volumes. So my question is, first is how many volumes are there? Is the story complete or still running? And then what happens in this first book? Okay.
So basically, yeah, the volumes are still running. There are yeah. So there are 13 volumes that have come far for the English, actually the English version. So there are more volumes, but they have not been translated in English as of yet. So they'll still to come, and the author has definitely he has hinted that he'll complete the story in 1 or 2 years. He has said. Uh, and the next question that you said, the story of this first volume. So the first volume follows, just like I said, it follows the story of Thorfinn. And so actually, what happens after the general comes to recruit Thors is that Thors says that he'll go and personally talk to the king of Denmark about his recruitment. So he sets sail, but he does not know that Thorfinn is with him. So Thorfinn actually hides in the boat to come with his father. He actually idolizes his father. So he wants to see if he is the great warrior that everyone says he is. So what happens is they land on a like a deserted island, and there they get ambushed by Askeladd and his a group of mercenaries. So there Thor's reveals his side of his warrior side. So even though he does not attack anybody, nobody is able to touch him. He dodges every attack, and he does no damage to every he injures everyone but does not kill anyone. So he's that good. But when Thor's challenges Askeladd, we should have a fair fight. If I win, you let us go, or if I lose, then you can have me. That's it. So he fights Askeladd and he wins. But Askeladd is clever. He actually uh, he actually tries to kill him with in an unfair way. He has some archers hiding in the corner, and they ambush him. Thor's. So he gets killed, and Thorfinn witnesses this. So he gets very angry. He actually hides in the Askeladd ship, and from there the story begins. Actually, so what happens is Thorfinn, when they come to their village, and they find out that this small boy has come with them, and he wants revenge for the death of his father from Askeladd. The Askeladd is like, I don't want to deal with this. Like So what does he do? He said, when you are powerful enough, I'll fight you in a fair fight. But till then, I don't know what to do with you. You can stay with us, and if you want to learn how to fight, you can. So he becomes a part of his group, and he learns fighting. He participates in battle, kills many people, Thorfinn. So he becomes very ruthless and very emotionless. He has nothing to do with anyone. Like whoever tries to uh, try to get to his bad side, or he's very good at mm, you can say hiding his emotions. That's it. Yeah. So he always tries to challenge Askeladd, and one time Askeladd agrees to his challenge, and then also he, because of his overwhelming revengeful emotion, he is not able to defeat him. So, so he, so apart from this, there's also this whole thing going that they are Askeladd is trying to. He is actually recruited by the Viking army to invade London. Actually, so what happens is, in London there's a Viking called Thorkel. So he has actually made a deal with the Prince of England that he will protect him in exchange for I think some prize and money. So there's a battle between Askeladd and Thorkel. So Thorkel is a very big guy, very powerful guy, and when he sees Thorfinn attacking, he attacks him like head on, and he injures him. And Thorkel has never been injured by anyone, so he is very impressed with the Thorfinn at such a young age. He is so good. So he remembers that there was a guy who had the look of this guy, and this is not from this volume, but Thorkel is actually the uncle of Thorfinn, but he does not know this. Yeah, yeah. So they come to know a bit late that he's actually the uncle of Thorfinn. His mother is actually his sister. Thorfinn's mother is actually his sister. So yeah, I think that's it from the.
All this happens in volume one.
Yeah, volume one. I am not able to recall, but I think
In the sense, this is three volumes. So book one, I'm saying.
yeah, this book one. Now I'm not able to differentiate where one volume ends and the other begins. But I think the Thorkel battle happens in this. I'm not sure whether anything else happens, but I'm sure this happens. Yeah.
Yeah, to stress on the importance of Vinland Saga, it is one of the most, what do you say, top rated. It is compared alongside Berserk and Vagabond. So the protagonist of Vinland Saga, Berserk, and Vagabond are on equal terms, and they are like a cult. I would say they have a cult following, and yeah, as you can as you were listening when you were saying, so the when you hear the storyline only, you will have the impact of Thorfinn character. So he's such a strong male protagonist character. And I have this book one. This book belongs to him, but I have the book one. I have to start reading. Yeah. Let's jump into the fun segment. Too much story of Vinland Saga. Now, we know that you love this book now. You are not even able to differentiate between the volumes. You know the story by heart. So, you have to just criticize and complain about this book. Like, you feel like your money is wasted, that I bought this book. There is nothing good in this book. Why am I even reading? Why did I buy and why did I invest so much money on this? So, imagining, okay, assuming, or it's a hypothetical situation I'm putting you that we'll try to exercise. So, you have to complain, criticize, and make sure nobody reads this book. That's a fun segment.
So should I just say like something critical about this? Yeah.
You are not happy with the book.
Okay. It might not be about this volume, but I'm definitely if
No.
huh,
You be the character.
okay. Like
You didn't like the book, you didn't like the characters, you didn't like the story, none of the volumes, you hate Vinland Saga. So you be in that character and speak.
yeah. Yeah. I didn't like this manga. I am actually angry. Like I spent so much money. It's like $1,000 I spent on this. on this book. But what is this Viking and all? I don't want to know about this. These all things. What all they're fighting for? There's no protagonist, no specific protagonist. Like the protagonist is in the sidelines and something else is happening. I want the book to focus on the protagonist, and something else is happening. And the author is not consistent with his writing. He's putting some stuff in between, like some you can say some facts and all, which I don't like. I don't want to read history. Just give me a good story, good fiction story, and I don't want to like get some history.
It's so hard to see him do the other character because he loves this book so much, and let's remove him from the pain. Okay, now, yeah, now we can. You can be that person who wants to sell this book. Why people should read this book, and not many would know about manga, right? So not many would read books. Because the number of people who watch movies are more than the number of people who read books, right? If I might be wrong, but that's I think a general norm. So to sell a manga, especially this particular manga, why people should read Vinland Saga?
So first of all, manga should be read like it's different from books. If you want to read a manga, it's very different from book. It's just a comic. You can imagine it as a comic. You don't have to imagine anything. You don't have to imagine the characters. It's all there. Just a story. You have to read it like a story. Yeah. So there's not a lot of imagination, and you can just perceive other things that you want to perceive, but the story is just there. So yeah, about Midland Saga, I would say that you after you have to sit for the first three volumes. I would say to appreciate the story. Like it, you want to you are thinking that it's a story about a child who wants revenge, who wants revenge very badly, but. What do you think? What will happen if he gets that revenge? What will he do after it? What does he have in his life? So that's where the real story begins. When I would tell you some of the things from later volumes. So when Thorfinn actually gets his revenge, like when his purpose that he has been waiting for his whole life has been fulfilled, and he's so sad after it because he does not have any purpose in life. He wants nothing to do with life because now every time he picks up a sword, his father's figure comes in front of him and say, "Is it like to be a true warrior? Is it what you want? Is this what you want?" So he becomes a very very meek guy who does not want to meddle with anyone. He does not want to get in a fight with anyone. He just wants to live his life and fulfill his father's dream. Actually, so his father's dream was actually to go. So I would tell you how the name Vinland came. So Vinland is actually they say that it's a land in somewhere in far in the west, which is a land free of war. So his father told him that one day you must go there and you should live all your life there. The land which has not been put into war. So yeah. So I would say read it for the redemption of Thorfinn, and read it for I guess the slice of life story, because this is not a war story. This is a slice of life story, I would say. It has some things to do with farming also. Like farming, you can read this also.
He actually saved me a question. I forgot like why the title. That's a good question. Thanks for answering. And I couldn't have summed it up in such a way. Like I have not read Vinland Saga, but for a person who has read Vinland Saga and for people who are planning to read Vinland Saga, that's the best. So read it for redemption. And yes, Vaibhav, coming back to you now. How did you feel? How are you feeling coming and appearing on a video talk show? So usually I invite people for podcast, and you directly got listed on the video talk show. How was the experience in talking about your reading habits and the Vinland Saga?
Yeah, so it was a very good experience. I don't do stuff like this actually, so a bit of an introvert like this. So it was good to come out of my shell and try to talk in front of the camera and try to act normal, even though I'm sweating. But still, it was a good experience, a good learning experience for me.
So even I was introvert, so I act like extrovert. People believe it. Okay. So thank you so much from MWM end, and I hope you will appear for more. What do you say? Talk shows on manga. We would like to hear. He's a more crazier manga fan, guys, than me. So I hope you will return for another talk show on manga.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's I will complete the whole Vinland Saga series and then I'll do a review of it as a whole Vinland Saga, whatever I've read. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this special episode inside your view on books on manga. So he's the first male guest speaker and also the first person who brings manga to our audience. And thank you so much, Vaibhav, once again. And yeah, I'll catch you in another live stream video or podcast. Until then, you're watching Medley with Maddie. I'm Matt Dawson. I'm signing off with Vaibhav. Bye bye.
NWM YouTube.